Our team members are Sorfina, Haziq, MAISARAH, AMIERA, NIYOZ, and MOHD. In this video, we are going to present introduction, data methodology, hypothesis testing, sample proportion, and the conclusion.
Our group theme is Healthy Lifestyle among Iium students in Gombak. We have collected sample of 128 students from different kuliah out of the total population in Iium Gombak. The aim of this survey is to know whether the Iium students in Gombak do practice a healthy lifestyle or not, because as we knew, life as a student is so busy with tons of assignments, tasks, examinations, and many more. We will also like to know more on how students practice a healthy lifestyle despite all the busyness. This topic is very concerning because according to Al-Almari 2015, students who eat breakfast will have a better academic performance than students who skip breakfast. Even in Islam, being healthy will give us advantage to perform our ibadah perfectly. Many students nowadays pay less attention to their health and choose to have an unhealthy lifestyles. According to Ridwan Ahmed Al-Nagar 2013, 53.7% of Malaysian university students do not exercise, implying that they don't practice a healthy lifestyle. Therefore, to achieve the aim of this project, our group provided few questionnaires in our survey form, which include several types of aspects. For instance, we asked about how frequent they exercise in a week, their sleeping schedule, their food consumption, and many more.
For data methodology, the theme of our group is the healthy lifestyles of Iium students in Gombak. So our group decided to collect sample students from different kuliah. From our group discussion, our population is Iium students in Gombak, and then the samples are 128 students from different kuliah, which are KENMS, KOE, KOED, KEED, KRKOL, LRKHS, and then KRCD. Furthermore, due to the current situations where most of the students are learning from home, we collect information by doing a survey through the online Google form. In our survey, we use the convenience method. We conveniently collected respondents using Google form. The reason why we use this method is that because it is more accessible to people and easier to investigate. In addition, this method is simple and intuitive.
In this slide, we will present the hypothesis testing for the questionnaire. First, for the gender, the result of the survey is 128 students shows that there are 30 male students and 98 female students. We want to know if there is a difference in the proportion of genders answering our survey. The level significance that we choose is 0.05. As we use the goodness of it, the observed frequency is 30 for males and 98 for females, while the expected frequency is 64 for both of the gender. We minus the observed frequency and the expected frequency, and we will divide it with the expected frequency. And then we will get the total is 36.126. So the first step, we state the H0 and the H1. Our H0 is there is no difference in the proportion of gender answering the survey. And our H1 is there is difference in the proportion of gender answering the survey. As I mentioned before, the significant level is 0.05. Next, for the step 3, we test statistic. We already calculate using the table before, and we get 102.25. At step 4, we find the degree of freedom by using formula k minus 1. Our k is 2, so 2 minus 1 is 1. So, we will refer the table and find the degree freedom 1 with the significant level 0.05. And we get the critical value is 3.841. Next, at step 5, we make decision. The x squared computed is 36.126 and it is fall in the rejection region. It is more than the critical value, which is 3.841. Therefore, the decision is reject the null hypothesis. Lastly, we interpret the result. So, we say, we can conclude that the result do provide the evidence of differences in the proportion of gender answering the survey. Next, we're moving to the level of study. We want to know the number of students joining the survey according to their level of study. The level of study is from first year, second year, third year, and fourth year. After 128 respondents joined the survey, we want to review the figures to see if the numbers of students from 4 different levels of study who joined the survey were equally joined. As we use the godness of faith to test this hypothesis, we listed all the observed frequency that we find. First year, 58 students, second year, 41 students, 23 for third year students, and 8 for the fourth year students. For the FE, we divide equally and we get 32 for each level of study. We do calculate by minus the FO minus FE squared, and then we divide by FE. The total summation will be 120.25. So the first step is we state the H0 and H1. Our H0 is there is no differences in the proportion of Iium students' level of study in joining the survey, while our H1 is there is difference in the proportion of Iium students' level of study in joining the survey. We choose the significance level 0.05. At step 3, we using the formula of summation of FO minus FE squared divided by FE. So, we already calculated at the table before and we get 102.25. For the step 4, decision rule, we find the degree freedom first with the formula K minus 1, and our K is 4. 4 minus 1 equal to 3. We refer to the table with the degree freedom of 3 and the significant level of 0.05, and we will get the critical value 7.815. The step 5 is make decision. The x squared computed is 102.25 and it is in the rejection region. It is more than the critical value, which is 7.815. Therefore, the decision is reject the H0 or null hypothesis. And the last step is interpret result. We can say that we can conclude that the result do provide the evidence of differences in the proportion of Iium students' level of study in joining the survey.
The next hypothesis testing is we assume that the past statistics reported that 35% of Iium undergraduate students in Gombak campus take additional supplements. In order to test this claim, we select a sample of 128 Iium undergraduate students and found that 45 of them take additional supplements. We use test of proportion to test whether this claim is correct or not, and we choose a significance level of 0.05. First of all, we state the significance level, which is alpha equal to 0.05, and our n value, which is the sample 128, our x is equal to 45, and our pi is 0.35. And we calculate the p-value x per n, which is 45 divided by 128. We get it approximately equal to 0.352. Next, we state the H null and H alternate. Our H null is pi equal to 0.35 and our H alternate is pi not equal to 0.35. Then we find the critical value, which is based on students' distribution. Our degree of freedom is infinity, and our level of significance for total test is 0.05. So we get z equal to 1.96 for the critical value. And then we test the value. We use the formula test of hypothesis for one proportion, which is z equal to p minus pi divided by square root of pi multiplied with 1 minus pi and divide by n. Here we get the value of 0.057. From the graph, we decide to not reject the H null since 0.352 is between negative 1.96 and 1.96. And it means that we fail to show that 35% is not the percentage of IIUM Gombak undergraduate students who take additional supplements.
In this hypothesis testing, we want to know that mean number of students exercise in a week less than 21.33 at 0.05 significance level. We assume that a simple mean is 20. The population mean number of students exercise in a week is 21.33 with known standard deviation 21.03. So we're gonna start with the first step. First step is about H null and H1. Our H null is mu greater or equal to 21.33. Our H1 is mu less than 21.33. Step 2, we use 0.05 significance level. Step 3, we're going to use Z formula because our standard deviation is known. After calculating Z value, we got negative 0.715. Step 4, we're going to find our CV. So to find our CV, we're going to look to Z table one tail test. So we found out that our CV is negative 1.645. After that, we're gonna draw the graph and calculate. After drawing the graph, finding the CV, we're gonna decide our decision. We do not reject H null because it's not fall in the rejection region. Lastly, we did not reject H null, so we have failed to show that the population mean is not less than 21.33. In this hypothesis testing, we want to know if the mean number of students consume fast food different from 18 at the significance level 0.05. We assume that a simple mean is 30 and our population mean is 18 with the unknown standard deviation. Since our standard deviation is unknown, we're going to use T table to find our T value. So our standard deviation is 19.13, which is 19.13. So the first step is about H null and H1. Our H null is mu equal to 18 and our H1 is mu is not equal to 18. Step 2, 0.05 significance level. And next step, we're going to use T formula to find our T value, which is 1.774. Step 4, we're gonna find our CV from the T table two tailored test. We're gonna look at the DV7. So we find our CV, which is CV plus minus 2.365, and then we draw the graph and we calculate all. After drawing the graph, we reject H null if it is not between we reject H null if T is not between negative 2.365 and 2.365. We have failed to show that the population mean is different from 18 because we do not reject the H null because T value is not between negative 2.365 and positive 2.365.
The next hypothesis is we want to know if the mean minutes taken by students to exercise is different from 21.33 at the 0.01 significance level. We will assume the sample mean is 30. Since the population standard deviation is unknown, we will use the t-test to test the hypothesis. The sample standard deviation is 21.84. The first step is to come up with the HO and H1. Our HO is mu equal to 21.33 while H1 is not equal to 21.33. Next step, we use the 0.01 significance level. After that, using the T formula, we will get the T value which is 0.972. To make a decision rule, we will find the CV from T table at two-tailed test because we want to know differences. We look at the F5 and we got CV plus minus 4.032, meaning we will reject if T is not between negative 4.032 and 4.032. After computing graph, the T value is not in rejection region, therefore we will not reject the HO, meaning to say we fail to show that population mean is different from 21.33.
Other than hypothesis testing, our group will be presenting the sample proportion.
Regarding the question of how frequent students eat fruit and then vegetable, there are 30 students who eat vegetables and then fruits every meal, and then about 47 students who eat vegetables and then fruits every day. There are 70 students who eat fruits and then vegetables once a week. There are 50 students who eat fruits and then vegetables twice a week. There are 21 students who eat fruits and then vegetables 3 times a week. There are 40 students who eat fruits and then vegetables once a month. There is only 1 student who has never eaten vegetables and then fruits. Our 120 sample shows that 30 students eat fruits and then vegetables every meal. We want to estimate the population proportion with a margin error of 0.1. Assume the level of confidence is %90. So therefore, we need a random sample of 24 students.
In conclusion, we take 128 students as a sample to conduct our research. Based on our research, the students focused more on drinking water for their healthy lifestyle. Majority of the students drink 7-8 glasses of the water in a day. The number of students who took breakfast almost every day was the highest with 41 students. However, 61 students like to exercise when they are free, which is almost half of our sample. Most of the students consumed fast food once a month. Almost 100% of the students ate fruits and vegetables, but the majority of the students ate fruits and vegetables almost every day, with 47 students. Next, 65% of students did not take additional supplement. On the other hand, 42% of students got 7 to 9 hours of sleep every day and almost every day in a week, while the others rarely got enough sleep.
That's all from us. Thank you.